Yes, we are. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel. This is Brandon Ingram here, back with another NXT review. So, I'm going to be reviewing last night's NXT. So again, I'm going to be reviewing last night's NXT. So, here are two things that were confusing about last night's episode of NXT. Number one, let's start off with talking about the match between Candice LeRae, me and you. First of all, I got some simple answers to say about this match. First of all, this match should have been a double count. This match shouldn't have never been a double count out. This match should have been a one-on-one singles match. It should have been a one-on-one, no disqualification, no count out singles match. This match should have never ended in a double count out. To me, it just doesn't make absolutely no sense. What was the use of having this match ended and what's the use of having this match ending like it did? What's the use of it? What's the use of having this match ended in a double countout? What's the use? You might as well. They should have had this match ready before the show started. They should just say, "Hey, we need to do this one-on-one match, and we need to set this as no disqualification or no countout." This match should have been no disqualification or no countout. This match shouldn't have never ended in a double countout, folks. And I pushed the wrong button again. This match shouldn't have never ended in a double countout. This makes no sense. Bad creative by WWE. This makes no sense. This absolutely makes zero sense. This match should have been no disqualification, no countouts. This is what it should have been. Shouldn't have been no interference in the match either. And then on top of that, they put Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano in the mixed tag match against Keith Lee and Mia Yim. So basically, they just spoiled us on who the victors are going to be at TakeOver in Your House. So that's what's basically happened. So basically, they just fucking spoiled us on who is going to win the match at NXT TakeOver in Your House.
The determined me.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did spoil us. Yeah, they did. And I just want to say that the start of the show just was good, but did not make sense. It was good, but it did not make no sense. So, anyways, before I get started with this NXT review, be sure you hit that like, subscribe button, and turn on all bell for notifications so you won't miss my Monday Night Raw, NXT, Friday, SmackDown reviews that I do every week on my channel. First and foremost, I just want to say this episode of NXT last night was confusing as fuck. No kidding. This show was absolutely confusing. I was lost. I was confused about this show. How could they make this show confusing as it was that night? How? I don't get it. What was really confusing was, why did they book that mixed tag match on NXT when that match is already going to be taking place at TakeOver in Your House? NXT TakeOver in Your House, for that matter. I don't get it. I don't get it. I really don't. They basically just spoiled us. They basically just showed us on who's going to win that match and who's going to come out on top as the victor in that mixed tag match at NXT TakeOver in Your House. So basically, they did it on purpose to make it assumed that we know that Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano is going to win that match at NXT TakeOver in Your House. Well, that's probably not going to happen. It could go two ways. Either one, Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano could be the victors at NXT TakeOver in Your House in the mixed tag match, or Keith Lee, or the team Keith Lee and Mia Yim could be the victors in the mixed tag match at the NXT TakeOver in Your House. It can go two ways. It could definitely go two ways. Oh, also be sure you follow me on Twitter. It's always important to follow me on Twitter, like my created Facebook page, and most importantly, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Of course, you all already know that. Obviously, I'm just telling y'all so y'all will know, so y'all won't be, so you obviously won't be confused. Hang on. Anyways, folks, this show was entirely confusing. I didn't understand why they did it the way they did it. Why they make this show look confusing to us, I don't know. But to me, the show was so confusing. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand the show. Why they make this show so confusing? I don't get it. I don't get it. Really don't. I really don't get it. I just don't understand why they made it so confusing. I was lost. It was so confusing. Folks, it was so confusing that I got to a point where I just didn't want to talk about it anymore. It was that bad, that confusing. Didn't want to talk about it anymore. Yep. So, not only this happened, not only that didn't make sense, but the entire tournament wasted by WWE didn't make sense either. I don't know why WWE wasted this entire tournament for Drake Maverick. I don't understand it. It was wasted by Drake Maverick. It was wasted by WWE for Drake Maverick to only lose to Phantasma. I was going to say only for Drake Maverick. They wasted the entire tournament by WWE only for Drake Maverick to lose to Phantasma. But again, the show did not make fucking sense. This show did not make fucking sense. It did not fucking make sense. It absolutely did not make sense whatsoever. NXT were doing good. They were on the road giving us better shows. I don't understand why they're messing it up now. And you know what? The middle of the show was good. I mean, we saw some TV. We saw some good TV matches on there. And, all that. Question is, how does WWE prepare these shows? How does WWE prepare to put these shows on TV? How? How do they do it? How do they do it? I don't know. Ask WWE. How do they prepare for stuff like this on TV? Stuff like this to be put on TV for us to watch? I don't know. Ask WWE. How good they use their talent? Well, I can tell you right now, they're not doing a hell of a good job using their talent. They're not doing a good job, I can tell you that much. They are definitely not doing a hell of a good job. they're using his talent almost like they're using jokes. Also, they're using his talent almost as if like they're not their own. Misfit Man sitting in the office on his lazy ass. You know, of course, he doesn't care, doesn't give a shit about the SmackDown Raw ratings that's going on over there on those brands. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, this fucking episode of NXT was confusing. It confused a lot of people on social media. And a lot of people on social media are trying to figure out why did they not have Drake Maverick come out as the victor of the match to crown the new Cruiserweight champion. I'm confused as everybody else is. I'm just as confused as everybody else is. For real. Sometimes I even confuse myself on what I'm saying. Sometimes I just want to ask everybody on here, am I speaking proper English? Because sometimes I don't even know if I'm speaking proper English or not. You know? I actually don't even understand. I actually don't even know if I'm speaking proper English. Sounds to me like I'm speaking proper English. I stutter. My autism doesn't have nothing to do with me stuttering. I don't think. I don't really think it does. I'm just gonna say I don't think it does. Maybe could be a possibility, but I'm not gonna say it is or not because I don't know. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I'm feeling like a ladies' man these days, feeling like Angel Garza. You know what I mean? I gotta get me all the ladies like Angel Garza's getting. I'm serious. I have to, really. I have to try it out. See if I can try to work out and try to get a physique on my body. Work out, see if my body will look like they'll have physique. Like Bobby Lashley, like Austin Theory, you know those physiques they be saying? Austin Theory, I heard, wants to have the best physique in WWE. That is a good dream. That is a good dream for this guy. A dream to have the best physique in WWE. He wants to have a more better physique than John Cena. Let's just say that. I'm just gonna say that. But one of the two things that was confusing about this NXT episode was the fact that they should have had this match right here between Candice LeRae and Mia Yim should have been a no disqualification, no count out, one-on-one singles match. That way they could do whatever they want. But it ended in a double count out, which I personally disagree with. I don't think it should have never ended in the double count out. I disagree with that decision right there. Now, some of you may wonder why I disagree with that decision. Well, I just explained why I disagree with that decision. I already did that. I already explained that, so I don't really have to repeat it again, and I'm not. If I repeat it again, it's probably not going to get me any views. I try not to repeat myself when I'm doing these reviews. I really do. I really try not to. Anyways, yeah, this episode was confusing as fuck. And I'm going to tell you all, I'm going to reveal to you all what all happened on NXT. That's why I'm doing this NXT review for a reason. To give y'all an update on what happened last night on NXT. So without further ado, speaking of NXT, let's get started with the NXT review here. So, of course, let's start reading the opening segment. So, they skip any recaps and led right into the first match. So the first match to start off NXT was Candice LeRae versus Mia Yim. This match was doubtably going to be a good match to start off NXT. This was a good match to start off NXT, but the end of the match was not good. But the start and the middle of the match overall was good, but the end of the match didn't make sense to me. I was confused. I was lost. So here's what happened with this match between Candice LeRae and Mia Yim. So Johnny Gargano is notable by his absence, so be on the lookout for Gargano to make his presence known as the match goes on. Of course, that was last night. That was said last night. I guess the announce team said that. One of the announce teams said that. I think the color commentator Mario Ranallo said that. But anyways, Candice jumps Yim before the bell rings, and the referee has to separate them. Once the bell rings, Yim takes down Candice with a shoulder tackle, then tosses her across the ring. In the corner, Yim hits Candice with a boot to the face, then a snapmare and a kick to the back. Ouch. That looks like that hurt, and that feels like that hurts. Yim keeps the pressure on as Candice tries to escape the ring. I'm actually trying to escape from doing this NXT review, but now I have to do it. I have to do my job. I have to do my job, and my job is to bring y'all the best NXT, Monday Night Raw, and SmackDown reviews possible. Give y'all the best information possible on what happened on those brands every week. Streaming live on WWE 2K20 on my YouTube channel, doing the Monday Night Raw, NXT, and Friday Night SmackDown reviews that I do every week. I am trying to escape the fact that this episode of NXT was confusing. Anyways, so Candice LeRae tried to escape the ring. Yim grabs Candice by the hair and brings her back into the ring. Candice kicks Yim in the head, then hits a senton on the back, covering Yim for 2. Candice hits a pair of sentons on Yim and pins her again. But Yim again kicks out at 2. So Candice grabs Yim's hair, but Yim runs Candice into the corner to break Candice's hold on her. Yim folds up with a cannonball senton into the corner on Candice, covering her for 2. So then Yim picks up LeRae, and LeRae fights Yim into the corner with a series of strikes. Yim smacks Candice with a forearm, sending Candice out of the ring. Yim gives chase and picks up Candice in a wheelbarrow position before throwing her into the barricade. Yim and Candice LeRae continue to fight back and forth out of the ring as the referee counts to 10. This match should have continued. This match should have been if we would have known that Candice LeRae and Mia Yim were going to be fighting back and forth outside the ring, this should have been from the beginning, like I was saying. This should have been a no disqualification match and a no count out. So that way the referee won't have to count. They can just fight it outside the ring. Or it should be a false count anywhere match. No disqualification, no count outs, false counts anywhere match. A one-on-one false counts anywhere match with no disqualification, no count outs. So, after this so-called double countout, Yim gets Candice in a powerbomb position, but LeRae hits a Hurricane Rana into Yim, sending her into the throne. Tegan Nox comes down to pull Candice back. I love how Tegan Nox came to save her friend Mia Yim. Anyways, Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez come to Candice's aid, and Shotzi Blackheart comes down to make the numbers even. Referee comes down to pull everyone apart. Referees being to separate all of the women. But Johnny Gargano comes out and encourages Candice to attack Yim. Candice continues her assault with Gargano cheering her on. Keith Lee comes down and chases Gargano and Candice up the ramp before the Garganos can escape. We hear a voice over the PA that the match between Yim and Candice LeRae will now be restarted as a mixed tag team match. I think it should have been restarted as I think it should have been a Falls Count Anywhere match to begin with. It should have never been a mixed tag match.
Up, guys,
never.
On my channel every night I do reaction to wrestling events. Tonight I am
a
doing
spoiler
well.
alert
I am
on
starting an hour.
on who's going to win
would.
at NXT TakeOver in your house. That gives a spoiler alert on who's going to win at NXT TakeOver in your house. And that's not good. That wasn't good. It seems to me like they want us to know who was going to win at NXT TakeOver in your house. I guess they want to make it look like that's what's going to happen this Sunday or this Saturday? Because I think NXT TakeOver in your house is this Saturday coming up. But anyways, so once
we have
they
a Discord where we
restarted it as a
you
mixed
can join.
tag team match, Mario tells us that that match was next that night, right after the commercial break. So let me show y'all what a mixed tag match actually looks like for a minute.
This Sunday,
To those
that's
of you
not
who
Saturday
may not know
for some
what a
reason.
mixed gender tag match is, let me show you what that actually looks like. They could announce this on TV anytime. That's just like announcing a singles match on TV, on television. Or a triple threat match for a title. A title that probably has never been defended. So, it was Keith Lee and Mia Yim versus Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano, Johnny Wrestling. So here's what happened with this match between the North American champion, Keith Lee, with his partner Mia Yim, and Candice LeRae with her partner Johnny Gargano. So the match started off with Yim and Candice LeRae, of course. Yim hits Candice LeRae with solid food. They understand what they meant by solid food, but anyways, pinning her for 2. Gargano gets back on the apron finally and starts talking trash to Yim. Yim is distracted by Johnny and Candice attacks Yim's leg. Yim pushes Candice down her feet, then hits LeRae with a kick to the face in the corner. Wish I could do that to Vince McMahon right now, because the way he has let these Raw and SmackDown ratings drop, I wish I could actually do that to Vince McMahon right about now, because he needs it. because he deserves it. Anyways, Johnny and Yim trash talk each other. Yim goes to make the tag to Keith Lee, but Candice blocks her by grabbing her leg. Candice hits a dragon suplex on Candice, bridging into a pin. Johnny breaks up the pin and runs to the corner, but Keith Lee tosses him around the ring. Lee tosses Gargano around the ring, hitting a splash into the corner. Lee picks up Gargano and goes for a spirit bomb, which wish I could do that to Vince McMahon too, for letting the Raw SmackDown ratings drop, and for the simple fact that the WWE writers and WWE creative team also let the ratings drop because they don't know what they're doing. They're not doing their jobs. They're not doing their jobs on giving us the best Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown shows possible. They just don't care anymore. Anyways, Gargano pulls car keys from his pocket and hits Keith Lee in the eyes. Yim runs to Lee to check on him, and Candice rolls Yim up into a pin, getting the 3 count. No, actually, I'm just playing. That's not funny. Anyways, so after Johnny Gargano and Candice raise victory, Keith Lee runs at Johnny Gargano after the match, but Candice and Johnny escape the ring like a bunch of cheetahs. Lee tries to get him. Of course, they're escaping the ring like a bunch of cheetahs and a bunch of mini-me's. And now Keith Lee is chasing them. Hanging with the Ying, but the Ying me. Wait, actually, she hanging with the Ying, but that nigga mean. I'm just joking. So Lee tries to get him, but Gargano kicks Lee's hand into the steel steps. Gargano steals the NXT North American Championship from the ring, kisses it, and lays it at his feet. Gargano raves at Yim and Lee as he and Candice go up the ramp. Jeez, man. This match just absolutely did not make no sense. This match really didn't make sense to me. It really did. It just did not make any fucking sense whatsoever. WWE needs to not make this mistake again by not having this match in the double count out between me and Candice LeRae, the one I'm talking about. That didn't make no sense. And then they turned it into a mixed tag match. That gives us a spoiler on who's going to win at NXT TakeOver in your house. Like I was saying the first time. I'm saying it the second time, so people will be in arms and ears, so people will hear me and know that this whole fucking, the beginning of the whole show did make sense to me. Now, JD probably would disagree. JD and all the other podcasters will probably disagree and think that this show was a good start to NXT, which I disagree. I think this show was a bad start to NXT because of the way the decision was made in this match between Candice LeRae and Yim. So after that match, that mixed tag match, after Candice LeRae and Gargano's so-called mixed gender tag match victory over Keith Lee and Yim, we got a video package hyping up the match between Tommaso Ciampa and Killer Kross at NXT TakeOver in your house that night. So, backstage, folks, you may know this guy and you may not. They are building him as a top star in the NXT Men's Division. And I'm pretty sure you know what NXT Men's Division is, and I'm pretty sure you know what the NXT Women's Division is. You've seen it. Don't ask the question. Just listen and pay attention, rather than asking the question. Maybe some people don't want to answer the question. So, I don't understand what kind of suspicious or strange things Dexter Lumis was doing backstage, but that creeped a lot of people out on social media talking about Dexter Lumis. That confused a whole lot of fucking people. And I personally don't blame them for being confused. I really don't. So backstage, this top star in the men's division, which WWE is building him to be as top star in the men's division, the future top star on the NXT men's roster, the strange Dexter Lumis, was interviewed about his thoughts on the match between Velveteen Dream and Adam Cole at NXT In Your House. Lumis doesn't give a verbal answer and instead grabs a piece of paper on a chalkboard and begins to draw. So they cut away from that backstage segment, and we were told that night that that segment about NXT champion Adam Cole and Velveteen Dream, titled Prime Target, was up next. So then, back for commercial break, Drake Maverick was interviewed outside the arena, arriving to NXT that night. Maverick is talking about how he is not feeling any pressure about his match that night, because he said today is the day. He will either end up as NXT Cruiserweight Champion or he won't. All the chips are down. And he said he didn't know what was going to happen. He closes saying tonight could be the worst night of his life. Well, it was the worst night of his career, let's be honest. The best night of his life. He said it could be the worst night of his life or the best night of his life. So it said the primetime target was next. They said this. This is the second time they've said this. So they said they were learning about the backlot brawl between the WWE, I'm going to say this slowly, the WWE NXT champion Adam Cole and former North American champion Velveteen Dream. So, now I'm going to read this a little bit faster. Cole gets in a limousin with the rest of the Undisputed Era. Is that even a word? Limousin? Is that even a word? Anyways, they go to a fine dining restaurant to celebrate Cole's reign as champion for over a year. Dream, however, cuts promos directly to the camera and talks about how he will beat Cole at NXT TakeOver. We also see a recap of Cole's meeting with Rory Ringo last week. It was last night, but they showed it. They showed a recap video of it, of his conversation with William Ringo from last week on the show. Y'all get what I'm saying. So this prime, you know what? This prime target, it wasn't too bad. It's just your typical video package, you know. Just further continue the feud with Adam Cole and Velveteen Dream. I think the feud is going to end after NXT TakeOver In Your House. This feud's going to end. Velveteen Dream could be called up to the main roster after this. They don't know. Actually, no, I don't think he's going to be called up to the main roster yet. I think he's going to win the NXT Championship at NXT TakeOver in Your House. Then I think that's when Adam Cole, all his Undisputed Era members are going to be called up to the roster. After this could be Adam Cole's last match, because I think he's being called to the main roster, and his Undisputed Era members are too, including Roger Strong, Bobby Fish, and Kyle O'Reilly. So later that night, Artie Larkin and Danny Burch took on Undisputed Era's Bobby Fish and Roger Strong, and a mystery tag team in a triple threat match to determine the number one contenders to the NXT Tag Team Champions. So back from commercial break, we see the strange, weird-looking, scary-eyed looking, the scary-looking Dexter Lumis again. They showed him on the screen again. I think people were getting creeped out. That's for sure. They're assholes for being creeped out because they're building him up as a top star, for fuck's sakes. I don't know if you idiots don't know that by now. If you idiots don't know that by now, there's something wrong. Something's wrong if you idiots if you don't know that. You should know by now that they're building him up as a new top star in the NXT men's division and on the roster itself. This guy is going to be a good star for their roster. They shouldn't call him up to the main roster yet. I think they should just build him up as a star, which they are doing. Duh. So when they came back from commercial break, Dexter Lumis, the strange guy, has drawn himself driving a car with Undisputed Era tied up in the back. The interviewer tells him that his drawing is interesting, and he walks away. That was kind of weird that somebody said that. You know, given the fact that he's kind of acting like the Fiend. His character is kind of like Tommaso Ciampa in The Fiends. Dexter Lumis' character. Loving his character though, is really good. Roger Strong was being stalked in the ring during that triple threat match to determine the number one contender for NXT Tag Team Champions. Don't forget that. That was pretty funny how Roger Strong reacted being stalked. I would have acted the same way. Let's be honest, I would have been the same way though if I was being stalked. I don't blame him. I'd be like, man, quit stalking me. I'd be like, or man, what the fuck are you staring at, motherfucker? You know what I mean? So, yeah. So here's what happened in this match between Tony Nese and Isaiah Swerve Scott. This was a good singles match. This was a good TV's match. Although the match didn't really last long, because Scott goes right at Nese at the start of the match, taking him down with a tackle. Scott sends him out of the ring and tosses him into barricades. Scott tries to toss Nese onto the steel steps, but Nese fish hooks Scott's mouth and blocks. So then Nese gets back in the ring and Scott gives chase, but Nese levels Scott with a shoulder tackle before Swerve can Swerve can properly get to his feet. Nese continues to put the pressure on it, stomping and kicking away at Scott. Nese tosses Scott hard into the corner, and Scott falls while Nese taunts him. Nese covers him for 2. Nese immediately locks in the body scissors on Scott, and Scott tries to fight back. But Nese and Scott trade chops until Scott gets leverage and mounts Nese. Nese transitions the mount into a guillotine hold on Scott. Scott gets to his feet however, and hits a brainbuster on Nice. That was a surprising brainbuster by Isaiah Swerve Scott there. I watched the match on Twitter. I mean, not Twitter, but YouTube. It was on Twitter too, though. It really was. You know WWE has Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and all that. Anyways, Scott lays into Nice with kicks, but Nice hits a drop toe hold on Scott. Scott dips Nice out of the ring and hits him with a big boot to the chest from the apron. Scott picks up Nice and tosses him hard into the steel steps. Scott then picks up Nice and rolls him back into the ring. So then Nice hits Scott in the throat, but Isaiah Swerve Scott is able to keep Nice at bay with a series of kicks. Then Scott gets to the middle rope and gets ready to hit a move, but Jack Gallagher comes down the ramp and distracts Scott. Nice uses the distraction, tries to hit the sunset driver on Scott. Scott blocks and rolls Nice up for 1, 2, 3. After Isaiah Scott's victory, Jack Gallagher and Nice taunt Isaiah Swerve Scott as he retreats up the ramp. So Arnie Larkin and Danny Burch in the Undisputed Era were shown backstage getting ready for their match up later that night. They went on to commercial break. Back for commercial break, they immediately head to the triple threat match. So, folks, give me 1 second here. Let me pull this up. So, here is what happened with the triple threat match between Roger Strong, Bobby Fish, Arnie Larkin, Danny Burch, and the returning Breezangos? Wait, hold on. You gotta be serious. The returning Breezangos last night? These guys? Am not a huge fan of those guys at all. I don't know why did WWE come to a decision to bring back the Breezangos. Yeah, they brought back these guys, which I don't really like seeing in the ring because they're not really that good of a talent in the ring. They're not really that much of a talent in the ring. They're not really that much of an interest to a lot of people. So here's what happens with this triple threat tag team match between Undisputed Era, Arnie Larkin, Danny Burch, and the Breezangos. So Bobby Fish, Tyler Breeze, and Danny Burch start the match for their teams. Bobby Fish tries to take control early, but Breeze and Burch team up to take down Bobby Fish, with Breeze hitting a spine buster and Burch hitting a headbutt. Burch and Breeze cannot agree on who to pin Fish. Strong runs in the ring, but Breeze and Burch send him out of the ring with a huge powerbomb and clothesline from Breeze and Burch, respectively. Fish tries to roll up Burch, but Burch kicks out. Breeze tries to roll up Fish, but Fish kicks out and escapes the ring. Larkin and Fandango get in the ring. Breezango stare off against the Brit A-Man Brawlers as Undisputed Era look on from outside the ring, and they went to commercial break. So then, when they came back for commercial break live that night, Breeze and Burch are still teaming up to take down Strong. But when Breeze hits Strong with a super kick. Burch nails Breeze with a drop kick. Strong pushes Breeze into Danny Burch, sending Burch out of the ring. Fish tags in and kicks away at Breeze while also keeping Danny Burch out of the ring. I guess basically keeping Danny Burch at bay. Fish tags Strong back in, and Strong chops away at Breeze. Strong taunts Fandango, but the referee stops him from getting involved. Strong locks a chin lock in on Tyler Breeze, but Danny Burch gets back in the ring and breaks the hold. Burch is able to fight off Strong and Fish momentarily, and Fandango tags in. Dango hits power slams on Fish and Strong. Dango follows it up with a tornado DDT on Strong, covering him for 2. Marty Larkin tags in and takes on Dango, and Fish is Strong with a double blockbuster. Marty Larkin launches Fandango over the top rope into the Undisputed Era. Fish and Strong are in the ring with Tyler Breeze, but Dexter Lumis appears in the audience and stares at Undisputed Era. Ooh, that's gotta be creeping the fans out. Breeze hits the beauty shot on Fish. Fandango tags in and hits a last dance on Fish, covering him for 3. So Fandango celebrated in the ring, but Imperium come out and stare at them on the ramp. Malcolm Bivens and Indus Sher also come out and stare at Imperium. Imperium stare down both Fandango and Indus Sher. So Drake Maverick is shown backstage getting ready for his match with Phantasma. So they go into commercial break. I don't know how many commercial breaks they had last night. They more than likely had like 4 or 5 commercial breaks, because that was a whole lot of hell of a fucking commercial breaks for them to be doing all them. Good God. I mean, I'm just saying. All these commercial breaks they're doing all of a sudden on TV. Isn't that taking some of the talent's TV? Isn't that wasting a talent's TV time? I mean, isn't that wasting TV time for some of the talent on the roster? I mean, how are they even getting paid money doing this stuff during this quarantine time? I mean, nobody understands how they're even doing this. I guess because they feel like they're more safer, and not only they feel like they can do more at the performance centers, more than they can do in an actual arena, in an actual Raw, SmackDown, NXT arena. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Honestly, y'all, I'm just taking the best guess as possible. That's what I'm doing. I'm actually just taking a guess. Because I don't know. Anyways. So, back for commercial break, we get a recap of last week's women's tag team match. We see an interview from last week with Robert Stone and Chelsea Green. Stone talks about how the Robert Stone brand came through. Chelsea Green talks about how she is harder than ever. As far as Robert Stone, Stone chases after her, asking if she was serious. So here is what happened with the match between Aaliyah and Santana Garrett. So Aaliyah hits a spinning neckbreaker on Santana and immediately covers her for 2. Robert Stone comes out and cheers on Aaliyah. Aaliyah stays on the offense and hits Garrett with a knee to the face in the corner, so then covers her for 2 again. Aaliyah gets a hold locked in on Garrett. But Garrett gets to her feet and pushes Aliyah into the corner. Aliyah slaps Santana and gets to the top rope. But Santana hits a slap of her own and hits Aliyah with Hurricane Roller and handspring moonsault, covering Aliyah for 3. So Santana Garrett was the winner. This was a good win for Santana Garrett. Proud of her. This was a good win for her. This was an awesome TV match. This was an awesome TV match for Santana Garrett. This is not really the biggest win of her career. But, I mean, let's be honest. If Santana Garrett was going up against superstars like Io Shirai or Rhea Ripley or Charlotte Flair, those would be, if she were to pick up a victory over those female superstars, that would definitely be Santana Garrett's biggest win of her career. I don't think her picking up a victory over Aliyah is not so much of her biggest win of her career. Just saying. Anyways, backstage, Phantasma was backstage getting ready for his match with Drake Maverick. They shown him getting ready for his match with Drake Maverick. So when they got back from commercial, they would get a primetime target segment about a triple threat match between Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley, and Io Shirai for Charlotte's NXT Women's Championship. Dude, honestly, I think I'm on Twitter. I will retweet with a comment saying that who I'm going with. I'm going to go with Io Shirai. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to go with Io Shirai because of the simple fact that Io Shirai is the only one right now that actually deserves the NXT Women's Championship more than anyone right now. She hasn't won the title yet, and plus, she can go ahead and beat NXT Women's Championship. That way, she can go ahead and drop that title to somebody and call her up to the main roster next year. Or maybe potentially the end of this year, calling her up to the main roster. Because the more this goes on, the more I go on with this, the more I'm gonna spoiler you all. I mean, I don't wanna. I honestly just did a little bit, but that was just half of the spoiler alert. It wasn't a full spoiler alert. That was half of it. Trust me, you'll know what half of a spoiler alert is and what a full spoiler alert is. So, yeah. The segment was about a triple threat match between none other than the queen, the nature girl, the genetic superior. She is beautiful and genetic superior, in my opinion. She is the 12th time WWE Women's Champion. And also, if she could be Women's Tag Team Champion, she'll be a Grand Slam Champion. Of course, I'm talking about Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley, and Io Shirai. That's what this threat match segment was about. That's what the prime time segment was about. It was about these three right here. Remember, we did get a previous prime time segment, or should I say prime target segment, not prime time, prime target. Excuse me, I said that incorrectly. But yeah, we did get a prime target segment from Velveteen Dream and Adam Cole earlier. Now, it seems like this is another one of the prime target segments right here, with these ladies involved in the segment. So, when they came back from commercial break, Tom Phillips told us about, last night he told us about the NXT Women's Championship match at NXT TakeOver in Your House, which leads us directly into the prime target segment about Shirai, Charlotte, and Whitley. Io speaks broadly about her desire to be alone and be the best. Ripley talks about how 2019 was the best year for her and 2020 hasn't been good, but she wants to make it better. Charlotte talks about how NXT was her home and she wanted to show that she is still the queen. She is the queen. She doesn't have to prove that she's the queen. She already is the queen. She doesn't need to prove to everybody. I guess there are people doubting her once again. I am not doubting Charlotte Flair, because she's a 12-time women's champion. I would never doubt Charlotte Flair. She's a 12-time women's champion. If she loses the title, she loses the title. If she doesn't, she doesn't. After she does lose the title, though, she might want to turn her attention to winning those tag team titles. She could partner up with Chelsea Green to win those NXT women's tag team titles. Or Becky Lynch. Well, Becky Lynch will be out, so she could probably team up with Chelsea Green to win those women's tag team titles. They could be Sasha Banks, Bayley's, or Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss's new opponents. That could be one of the women's tag team new feuds. I mean, you never know. Anything's possible in WWE, they say. People don't know whether to believe that or not. I don't know whether to believe that or not either, to be honest. So yeah, she wants to show that she's still the queen. After prime target. It reminds me of Crime Time players, Chad and JTG. That's why I said that like that, the way I said it. Anyways, so after Prime Target, they went to commercial break. So back from commercial break, we head into the next match. So this next match was a good TV match. This was a good TV match too. And this gave the right victor of the match. This was the right victor of the match. They got the right person to win the match. They booked the right person to win the match anyway. So, it's Cameron Grimes. It was Cameron Grimes versus Branson Reed that night. So here's what happened with the match between Cameron Grimes and Branson Reed. So Reed and Grimes stare down at each other in the ring. This was already getting ready to be an intense battle between these two. Reed chases Grimes around the ring, but Grimes tries to outspeed him. Grimes tried to hit a takedown, but Reed picks him up and goes for a cannon backbreaker. Grimes escapes the hold and chops at Reed, but Reed isn't fazed. Reed manhandles Grimes, dropping him with a military press and a senton. Reed tries to drag Grimes away from the ropes, but Grimes kicks at Reed. Grimes hits Reed with a leaping forearm, but Reed hits Grimes with a standing thus press. Then a running hip attack in the corner. Reed rolls Grimes back into the ring and goes to the top rope. Reed goes for a splash on Grimes, but Grimes rolls out of the way and hits a cave-in on Reed, covering him for 3. So Grimes stands in the ring, celebrates, but leaves the ring when he realizes that Karrion Kross has come down to the ring. Kross hits Reed with a Doomsday Shadow, then stares into the camera and says, "Ciampa, this Sunday is special, TikTok." And they go to commercial break. Back from commercial break, Beth Phoenix tells us about a 6-women tag team match that has been added to the card, with the team of Tegan Knox, Shotzi Blackheart, and Mia Yim taking on the team of Dakota Kai, Kelly Gonzalez, and Candice LeRae. So this was the main event of the evening right here. Here's the main event of the evening. So, I don't know if y'all watched the main event or not, because I certainly did. And it was an embarrassment. The main event was an embarrassment. I can tell you that right now. This main event was such an embarrassment for Drake Maverick. I feel bad for him because it was an embarrassment. WWE made him look like an embarrassment. They embarrassed him, man. And then they're gonna have the nerve to give him a contract after he just lost to Phantasma. Think about that. They give him a contract after he just lost to Phantasma? You gotta be kidding me. That's why, one of the reasons why I said this show did not make any fucking sense. That right there is exactly why I said this show didn't make any fucking sense. How are you gonna go from making Drake Maverick upset to making him happy? It seems like giving somebody being upset, losing a title opportunity, would not be happy getting a contract. They would just take the contract, just throw it on the ground, smash it. That's what it seemed like. That is what it seemed like right there. They can just take it on the ground, smash it, tear that junk into pieces. Be like, no, I'm not signing this freaking contract. Yeah, just WWE's way of embarrassing their talent because they can't get their fucking ratings up. They want to embarrass the talent because they can't get their fucking shows fixed right. They can't fucking, what? What else? They can't fucking put the right matches on the fucking shows. They can't give us the right fucking storylines. That's why they want to embarrass talent. I guess they want to show the fucking YouTube creators that they can do better than them. It's not about that. It's about WWE giving us better shows. Giving what the fans want to see. That's what it's about. WWE apparently don't seem to understand that. But, you know what? Henceforth and now more. Be honest. Be honest. At this point, I don't even give a shit about Vince McMahon and WWE creators and writers because they're not doing their jobs. Vince McMahon needs to step down as chairman. He's not doing his job at all. At all. Period. Sitting on his lazy ass, laughing at these terrible garbage Monday Night Raw and SmackDown shows they've given us for about the last 10 weeks. Bet you ain't laughing about NXT, Vince McMahon. Bet you ain't laughed about NXT now. Bet you ain't funny no more now. Bet you he'll stop laughing then. When NXT ratings start going down, Vince McMahon will stop sitting on his ass and he'll stop laughing then. Oh, he'll stop. Don't worry. Once the NXT ratings go down, he'll stop sitting on his ass and he'll stop fucking laughing. And then he gonna complain and be like, why did NXT ratings go down? Cause you and the WWE creative team and the writers are not doing your fucking jobs. And you're making the fucking talent in the ring look like embarrassment. And you're making them look like a bunch of fucking idiots cutting promos for nothing in the fucking ring. Really? I can't stand when a wrestling company makes a talent look like embarrassment. I can't stand that. And once again, this goes to me saying that I feel bad for some of the freaking talent on the roster. I feel bad for the talent on the roster because their own boss can't even fucking do his job as a fucking chairman of WWE. It's quite that simple. He can't do his fucking job as a chairman. As a chairman of WWE, you could do anything you want, it seemed like. But all Vince McMahon wants to do now is sit on his ass and not boost up the Raw and SmackDown ratings. You know, he doesn't want to give everybody what they want. He wants to give what himself wants. That's the problem. Vince McMahon doesn't want to give what the fans want. He wants to give what himself wants. Period. Doesn't care about no one but his fucking self. Vince McMahon cares about no one but himself. That's why I say I wouldn't even bother calling Vince McMahon, considering Vince McMahon as a chairman. I consider him as a fake-ass chairman. That's what I consider him as. Nothing more than a fake-ass chairman who can't fucking convince his writers and his creative team to do their fucking jobs and give superstars the right promos to cut in the ring and make these shows look better than what they haven't been looking the last 10 fucking weeks. 10 fucking weeks, all we've been seeing is garbage. Monday Night Raw, garbage. Monday Night Raw, garbage. Monday Night Raw shows. Garbage Monday Night Raw shows, garbage SmackDown shows, week after week after week. You know what? This counts 11, matter of fact. This week's Monday Night Raw was even more fucking garbage than when it was the last Monday Night Raw that we saw. Jesus Christ, give me a fucking break. Anyways, moving on. So here's what happened with the main event matchup between Phantasma and Drake Maverick for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. And you know what? It's a shame. I feel really bad for the talent, not only on the Monday Night Raw roster, but on the SmackDown roster as well. Because their boss just doesn't care. Hell, the boss doesn't, it's so bad that Vince McMahon and the writers and creative team don't even care about the likes of Charlotte Flair, Lex Bliss, and all these other superstars that are on the rosters. All he cares about is himself. And then how is Vince McMahon gonna have Charlotte being put on all three brands, making her look like an embarrassment, making her look like she's there for nothing? Obviously, she's for NXT for something, to defend her NXT Women's Championship against Rhea Ripley and Io Shirai at NXT TakeOver in your house. But what is she on Raw and SmackDown for? There's nothing for her right now. WWE cannot come up with anything for Charlotte Flair on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown right now. So why are they doing this fucking wild card rule shit? I hope the fucking wild card rule shit has been scrapped, and I hope it ended real quick. I hope it ends quickly, because it's not looking good. I can tell you that right now. I hope the wild card rule is over. I hope they don't continue that, because that's going to create some fucking confusion. That's going to create some fucking anger, and it's going to create some fucking complaints. That's going to have some complaints on Twitter from a lot of people with Twitter accounts. There's going to be some complaints from a lot of people on Twitter as to why they made this wild card rule to begin with. This wild card rule is doing nothing but making the Raw and SmackDown superstars look like embarrassments. Hell, it's even making the people from Monday Night Raw on SmackDown look like embarrassments. For an example, AJ wasn't fully aware that he was being drafted. He was being drafted to SmackDown. He didn't even fucking know that. You wanna know why? Because the WWE doesn't want to tell their superstars where they're being drafted to. Instead, they want to draft them to brands they don't even know they're being drafted to. See? Just like that, too. And then, they went from firing Drake Maverick to fucking re-signing this guy. You gotta be fucking kidding me. This shit just doesn't make sense. This show doesn't make fucking sense. This episode is the only NXT episode that just doesn't make sense. This fucking show was straight up fucking confusing. Straight up confusing. Right out the gate. Straight out the gate. Right confusing. This show was fucking confusing as shit, man. Really. NXT has been on the roll for weeks. Week after week after week, NXT has been on the roll, giving us brilliant shows. But now, they give us this. They give us this kind of crap. They give us this. Now they're giving us this show. They give us this episode last night. This episode was confusing for two reasons. I've already explained that. I'm not going to explain it again because I've already did. I already explained what I wanted to explain on why the show is confusing. So, here is what happened with the main event matchup between Drake Maverick and Phantasma. Maverick and Phantasma start off the match. They start off the match with a handshake. Phantasma tried to use the handshake to get a quick roll-up on Maverick, but Maverick kicked out at 2. Maverick wasn't having that. He wasn't falling for that. Phantasma takes down Maverick, but Maverick reverses and goes for a Kimura lock. Phantasma reverses into a pinfall attempt for 2. Maverick and Phantasma lock up, and Phantasma gets an armbar. Wish I can armbar Vince McMahon. Maverick gets to his feet, but Phantasma hits a monkey flip on Maverick. Phantasma rolls up Maverick for 2. Phantasma and Maverick lock up again. Phantasma whips Maverick around the ring. Maverick hits a flying head scissors on Phantasma, sending Phantasma out of the ring. Maverick gives chase and hits a cannonball. He hits a cannonball senton on Phantasma from the apron to the outside as they went to commercial break. How many commercials break they had already? Like 6 or 7? This is about like the 7th or 8th commercial break in a row. Jeez, they are really trying to waste the talent's TV time, are they? Were they? They were really trying to do that. Anyways, back from commercial break. Maverick hits a drop kick from the middle rope on Phantasma. Phantasma escapes the ring, and Maverick gives chase again. Phantasma hits a sit-out powerbomb on Maverick on the outside. Maverick is screaming in pain. I feel like screaming in pain because of these fucking Raw and SmackDown ratings that they can't continue to boost up. They continue to let them fall down rather than boosting up those ratings. I'm screaming in pain because WWE is fucking giving me a headache with these fucking ratings going down for Raw and SmackDown. Oh, also, WWE cannot seem to fully give us the reason as to why they are re-signing Drake Maverick. Why in the world are they re-signing Drake Maverick? The man's 37 years old, for fuck's sakes. Does he even have any wrestling left in him? I'm interested to see what they're going to do with Drake Maverick. Are they going to do the same thing they did when they released EC3, the likes of Leo Rush and Carl and Luke Gallows from WWE? Are they going to do what they did with EC3 and all them? Just keep them in the backstage of the locker room, have them watching their idols or their wrestling, their wrestling superstars they grew up watching in their childhood? Is that what they're going to do? Probably. No telling. So, Phantasma and Maverick lock up again. Phantasma whips Maverick around the ring. Maverick hits a flying head scissors on Phantasma, sending Phantasma out of the ring. Maverick gives chase and hits a cannonball senton on Phantasma from the apron to the outside as they go to commercial break. Back from commercial break, Maverick hits a drop kick from the middle rope. Even though I've already read that other part that I just read it again in case. So, middle rope on Phantasma. Phantasma escapes the ring, and Maverick gives chase again. Phantasma hits a sit-out powerbomb. Wish I could hit that on Vince McMahon right about now. On Maverick on the outside. Maverick is screaming in pain as Phantasma covers him for a very close 2 count. Phantasma hits a Maverick in the back, and Maverick lets out another scream. Phantasma seems to push or punch Maverick in the kidney area of his back, which that sounds disgusting. Then locks in a surfboard lock. Maverick's shoulders get to the rope, but he is at the ropes, forcing a break. Well, that seems logic. Phantasma drags Maverick into the center of the ring. Phantasma hits a backdrop driver on Maverick and pins him for 2. Phantasma stalks Maverick and goes for another drop driver, but Maverick escapes and hits a drop kick on Phantasma into the corner. Maverick goes to the same rope, tries to hit a drop kick to the legs of Phantasma, but Phantasma catches him and reverses into a Boston Crab. That's what they call it, Boston Crab. Maverick makes it to the bottom rope and forces a break. Phantasmo looks surprised that Maverick has not given up. He hits another sit-out powerbomb on Maverick, pinning him again for 2. Phantasmo waits for Drake to get to his feet. Imagine saying Drake twice, like I'm in space with the astronauts. Anyways, Maverick slaps Phantasmo, and Phantasmo lays into Maverick's back with forearm smashes. Phantasmo whips Maverick into the corner, but Maverick bounces back with a clothesline to Phantasmo. Maverick fights back with a series of strikes into Phantasmo in the corner. Maverick hits a wheelbarrow into a bulldog on Phantasmo. Then goes to the top rope. Maverick hits a diving elbow drop from the top rope and covers Phantasmo, but Phantasmo easily kicks out at 1. Phantasmo hits Maverick with a jawbreaker and a spine buster on Maverick. Phantasmo goes to the top rope, but Maverick runs to the turnbuckle and knocks Phantasmo off of the turnbuckle. And apparently, Maverick chases Phantasmo to the middle rope. How many times he's really gonna chase him? I watched the video. I watched the match between Phantasmo and Drake Maverick. He literally just fucking chased him twice in the rope. Like, dude, how many times are they gonna be running, chasing each other like cats? The heck? It's like, what the hell? Maverick and Phantasmo hit each other with headbutts, with Maverick landing in the ring and Phantasmo landing outside. The masked men come down the ramp, but Maverick hits a suicide dive to the outside, taking out the 2 masked men who tried to kidnap Phantasmo before. Maverick fights off both men and goes to get back in the ring, but Phantasmo catches Maverick with a super kick and a phantom driver as soon as he gets back to the ring. Phantasmo pins Maverick for 3. I'm still trying to understand who those 2 masked men are. Could those 2 masked men be Kalisto and Grand Metalik? Or could those 2 masked men be Phantasmo's accomplice that he had before? Or his masked men buddies he had before? I don't know. So after Phantasmo's victory, Phantasmo celebrates on the ramp, but Maverick is sitting heartbroken in the ring. The crowd cheered for Maverick, and being on the plexiglass to show their support for Maverick. He stares into the camera and says, "Thank you for all your support." The crowd chants, "Thank you, Drake." Thank you, Drake. Whatever. Thank you, Drake, my ass. They ruined during Drake Maverick. The entire tournament was fucking wasted. Maverick exits the ring and starts to walk to the back. The crowd cheer him on as he walks to the ring. He looks back on all of them and he says thanks everyone while fighting back tears. Cruiserweight comes out with a clipboard in hand. He shakes Maverick's hand and hands him the clipboard, which I didn't understand. Why did he hand him the clipboard? Which was presumably a contract. Maverick takes the contract, signs at the bottom. Cruiserweight signs, making it official, hands it to Maverick, and they share a hug. Maverick holds up his contract in celebration. NXT goes off the air. That was garbage. The end of that show was garbage. How the entire tournament, the simple fact that the entire tournament was wasted. Yeah. Folks, overall, I wish the match between me and Yum and Cancel Ray would have been a no disqualification and no count out match instead of the match going on, continuing and resulting in the double count out, and then having them put in a mismatched tag team match. They just had a match, and they're being put in a mismatched tag team match. That's what didn't make sense. That's one of the things that I said that makes sense about the show. So that was straight up garbage. How they ended this match in the double countout. That was straight up garbage. And the TV match between Tony Nese and Isaiah Swerve Scott was competitive. The triple threat match, I am surprised that the triple threat match was as impressive as it was when I watched it. This was a good triple threat match to determine the number one contender for Imperium's NXT tag team titles. This was a classic. That triple threat tag match looked like a classic for the ages, in my opinion. Anyways, except for the part where I didn't like Breezango being the participants in that match. You know, I'm not really a fan of those guys. They returned with a good entrance. I mean, don't get me wrong, the entrance is good, but their abilities in the ring, not really so good. This match between Alev and Santana Garrett. This was a good victory for Santana Garrett. She picked up a victory over Alev, like I was saying. This was a good TV match. Cameron Grimes and Branson Reed was a good TV match. That wasn't too bad. But the end of the fucking episode of NXT, the main event was absolutely straight up garbage. They wasted the entire fucking tournament for Drake Maverick. Just for Drake Maverick to lose to Phantasma. Just to have the title handed to Phantasma. Here we are, sitting here thinking that Drake Maverick was going to beat Phantasma to win the Cruiserweight Championship. But instead, he loses to Phantasma, ultimately then gets a contract. The end of the show just did not make sense at all. Congratulations to Phantasma, even though this end of the show, main event, just did not make sense, period. It really didn't make sense. I'm pretty sure some of the talent's trying to figure that out. Pretty sure the talent probably would disagree. And I would actually disagree with them if they tell me this show was good. Well, no, this show wasn't good or this show wasn't bad. This week's NXT was just simply confusing and difficult. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of your June the 3rd, 2020 NXT review. Folks, I'm getting out of here. I hope you all have a good Thursday and a good rest of y'all's weekend. Oh, keep in mind that tomorrow, immediately after Friday Night SmackDown goes off, I will immediately be doing my Friday Night SmackDown review. After Friday Night SmackDown goes off air tomorrow night, I will be watching that. And of course, the show's probably going to suck. It was pretty decent for 2 weeks. I guarantee you 2 weeks later it's going to go right back to where it was again. It's going to go right back to being garbage. Guarantee you the fucking show, Friday Night SmackDown tomorrow, guarantee you it's going to go right back to being garbage. Guarantee it. So, folks, I'm out of here. Have a good day. Peace. I'm out. And continue to live your quarantine life as much as possible. Don't worry, this virus will end. I don't know when they're going to be releasing the vaccine. They're supposed to be creating some kind of vaccine that will keep the virus away, that will stop supposed to help keep the virus away. It's supposed to help the virus go away or something like that. But anyways, stay strong. Most importantly, everybody, stay safe. I'm out of here. I'm out of here this time. Catch y'all later.